Here in problem number 1, we're trying to maximize the revenue. We're trying to find the maximum revenue to the nearest whole dollar, like I highlighted. We're given a function, and I typed in the function into my calculator. The x on my calculator is represents the price. It's the p in the equation, and the r of p is the revenue in dollars based on the price that the manufacturer sets. And we're trying to figure out how to maximize the revenue. Well, we should notice that this is a quadratic function. The a is negative, therefore it should open down. It will open down, and it will have a maximum. That's why we're trying to find the maximum revenue. So that being said, if we were to just zoom 6 and graph in the standard viewing window, we would see what looks to be just a line, but we know better than that. We know that it's a parabola. So what we want to do is we want to try to figure out how to adjust our window, and the best way to do that is to hit the trace button, and the trace button initially starts out with the cursor at 0, 0, as you can see on the screen. And if we hit the arrow to the right, we can see as the price increases, so does the revenue. And so we're just trying to get an idea of how high those y values go so we don't have to spend our time searching and searching. So as I continue to go to the right, I'm noticing the values of y continue to increase, and I want to try to figure out when are they going to actually decrease. Like 23,000, 24, and I just keep going, and maybe I'm going to have to try something else because they're not decreasing at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in y equals 100,000, and as I notice the x is at 23 right now. I'm still going up. So I'm going to try that. That might be a little faster. So if I adjust the x maximum to 50 and the y maximum to 100,000 and my x res to 3, then we're still increasing. So the x max needs to be CD player in dollars. I would think that the price would be okay. Well, I guess maybe the price could be $250, and let's see what that does. Well, it's still increasing, so the revenue is going to be a lot more. So maybe 1 million. How many zeros is that? 6 zeros? Okay, let's try 1 million. Alright, so 1 million is well above our revenue, but our X values are still increasing. So $500, let's say. Okay, so finally, and it looks like maybe the, oops, didn't mean to hit that button. What was I doing? Looks like the Y max doesn't need to be as high as 1 million, but maybe we try 500,000 and we get a better idea. So as you can see, there's no perfect way to figure that out, so I just kind of hit trace, and I'd be hitting trace for a long time because the Y values are pretty high. But nevertheless, we found it, and again, my window goes up to 500. That again, the X values are the price, and then the Y values are the revenue. So numbers are big in this one, and nevertheless, we want to find the maximum. So let's go back to graph. We want to find the maximum, so we want to calculate the value, the vertex coordinates. So the value of the maximum value will be the y coordinate of the vertex. So second, trace for calculate, and then maximum, as we've done a million times. And I think by now, once you get the graph, that's the hardest part, is figuring out how to see the graph on the screen. And that we had to work for it a little bit is not that big of a deal. So I just did second calculate. I probably should walk you through that again. Second calculate maximum, move the cursor to the left for the left bound, mark it, and then have to adjust our boundaries here, and then move the cursor to the right of the high point and mark that, and then move the cursor anywhere back towards the middle there, and we see we have, I'm going to move the calculator over so I can have room to write that down. So we have the graph goes up and then it comes down. So when P is 0, revenue is 0. That vertex right there is at 228.75, comma 209,306.5. 0.25. So we want to always label our vertex. That's where we're getting our answer from. And it says, to the nearest whole dollar, what is the maximum revenue? Well, that's the maximum revenue, max revenue, and to the nearest whole dollar revenue. Therefore, about $209,306. And that is it.